international darlings, and welcome back to another video in Marib's channel. And yes, that's me. In the last video, I talked about fangirls and why this word shouldn't be a bad one. If you didn't watch it, please watch. Not now. Keep watching this video, please. In that video, I talked briefly about a BEATLES fan group that I took part on some years ago. This story is so creepy that I wanted to make a video specifically about it, and still more specifically about the owner of this group that was the creepiest guy ever. Just a disclaimer here. In this video, I will be talking about sexual assault, sexual harassment, and mentioning predators. So if this topic is a trigger for you, if you feel uncomfortable, you don't need to watch it. There are a lot of other videos in this channel that have nothing to do with this topic, so you don't need to watch it, really. I think that everything started in 2012, I guess, when I was just getting into the Beatles fandom and was really new on it, and what I was searching for on a Beatles web radio to listen to so I could, meet new people, make new friends, and those kind of stuff. I listened to it like a few times, I would say 3, 4. And then I discovered that the owner of my favorite Beatles page on Facebook hosted a show there, and I was really excited. She hosted a show every Sunday, and I decided to make this like part of my weekly routine, I would say. Like every Sunday I would listen to her. She had this part on her show that people would call her and ask questions and ask for specific songs. We talked, and since this day we became very, very good friends. And she started to read my fan fiction, and she would always tell people to read it too. I think that we were like the greatest fans of each other, and we would always support each other. We were always together. We were best friends for a long time, and we still are really close to each other. And her name is Elena, by the way. She's probably watching this. I love you, girl. You are amazing. And she helped me a lot to make this video, to write a script, because I couldn't remember some things, and she has a huge part on this video. Because we were too close to each other, and as I said, we were always together, I started to meet more and more people from the staff of the web radio. I'm going to call this web radio and this group in general RB. So I will not be repeating web radio. Okay. Eventually, I got into the owner of RB. I'll be calling him Sam. He decided to expand the group. Like, initially, it was only the web radio and a Facebook page. And he decided to expand it and make also a YouTube channel. Elena was the responsible for it. And when she announced it, we talked about it, and I decided to join the channel too. I started to make videos, weekly videos, like every week. I would make a video talking about something related to the Beatles. My first video really blew up. They really liked the way I talk and the way I express myself. And because of that, Sam, the owner, invited me to have my own web radio show, like to host a web radio show about my planet. And of course, I agreed. I was very happy with this opportunity, and that's when I officially got into the group. That's when I met my ex-boyfriend, which I'm going to call Peter. Peter and I had this exhausting 6 months relationship. We started to date as soon as I got into the web radio stuff in 2014, in the middle of 2014. and he broke up with me in the beginning of 2015. We, even though like it was only 6 months, we had this back and forth situation that lasted for 4 years. It was like the less healthy relationship in the world. For you to understand why I'm saying this, I'm just gonna say that when we started today, I was 15 years old and he was 29, almost 30. So yeah, he was the double of my age. So I guess that you already understand why this is problematic. If you don't, I will not be here wasting my time trying to convince you how problematic this is. I'm thinking about making a video talking about only my relationship with this guy. I think I will make this video, like I'm almost certain. It would be really nice for you guys to comment down below and tell me what you think about it. It's always nice to have a little support when talking about these sensitive topics. So back talking about the group, I started to host my show in the middle of 2014. And in the beginning of it, I had a lot of technical problems. And it was my first time hosting a web radio show. I had no idea of how that worked. And because of that, I started to talk a little bit more with Sam, the owner of the radio. He would like give me some tips. But right off the bat, I noticed that was something wrong with him. Like, he was a super low profile guy. He would have like 2 or 3 images of his face. I remember talking to Peter and Elena about it, like asking them more information about this guy, if they knew him in person, and they would always say no, that they didn't know much about him, that he was really indeed a mysterious guy. Seeing them talking about him like that, like yeah, he is mysterious, like we don't know nothing about him, made me realize that it wasn't really a problem back then. Like, it became a problem later, but he had this web radio and he would like give people this opportunity to host a show and to, you know, create this community. It really didn't matter who he was. We didn't really care that this guy was obviously a fake in the beginning of it, but then things started to get a little bit creepy. I remember that Peter, Elena, and I had this inside joke. That was, I would always say that, oh, Sam doesn't even exist. He's not even a real person. Later on, I discovered that this joke was way closer of reality than we thought. The information we had about him was like, he lived in São Paulo, his name, of course, which is not Sam. One thing that I always thought was that he wouldn't be lying about his name, at least, because his name was so ugly that if he was lying, I bet he would pick a better name. Indeed, he wasn't lying about his name. It was one of the few things that he was actually speaking the truth. He was lying about a bunch of other stuff. So in January of 2015, Peter broke up with me. Before he broke up with me, I wasn't in a very good place. Like, I was already a little depressed, and this got my mental health even worse. After that, I lost all of my motivation to make videos or to host the web radio show, that I was already not motivated that much. And some months went by, I really wasn't participating in any of the group activities anymore. And I was in a real dark place. A few months later, Sam went to talk to me, and he said that he wanted to release a blog. They already had a Facebook page, web radio, YouTube channel, and he wanted to make a blog. He asked me to write in this blog, and I said, yeah, I would love to, but I'm not really in a great place right now. I just broke up with Peter, and I'm still not ready to be that close to him. he said something like, "Oh, no problem. I want to kick him out of the group." And I was like, "Really?" And I couldn't see why he would like kick this guy, this experienced guy, out from the group and put me in. I was like 16 at the time. I was still in high school. I really didn't understand, but I was still very angry at Peter. I say, "Oh, of course, okay. And if you kick him out, I'm in." And he did that. He even sent me the screenshot of him saying to Peter that he didn't want him in the group anymore. A few days later, I was talking to Sam about the blog, and things started to get like really weird. And he started to say something about me having to thank him for the favor he did to me, that was kicking Peter out of the group. I didn't realize that he did that so he could get something in return, you know? I started to feel really, really uncomfortable. He started to make me some very private questions. And then he started to send me nude pictures, and that's when I got really, really uncomfortable. I even tried to ask my friends what to do, and I ended up blocking him and having no more contact with him or anyone from the group except for Elena. It was one of the worst feelings of my life, really. I felt so scared. Nowadays, I think about that and I think, oh my god, that was so stupid. Why didn't I, like, I don't know, call the police or did something? Why did I talk to this guy? But anyway, as I said, I blocked him before he could do anything like that again. Before I blocked him, during those conversations, he would always say to me that he was starting a FM radio, like an official radio. He would always call me to work for him in São Paulo. He would always say something like, "Oh, you should drop high school to come to São Paulo and work here. If you want to come to São Paulo to live here, you have a job guaranteed." Things like that. I couldn't really believe that. I was like, "Oh, okay, nice, okay, good." But sadly, some people were not as suspicious as me. That's when the thing got really, really ugly. So remember Elena, right? I talked about her a few times in this video. Elena lived in São Paulo and she moved to another city to work there. And Sam always said to her, like, "You should come back to São Paulo. You should come back here. I have a job for you. I have this opportunity for you. It's a big opportunity. You should move here back. You should quit your job in your city and move here." He would send to her pictures of contracts that he would say like it was contracts about the FM radio. And she almost believed him. Gladly, she was wise enough to ask her mom, who still lived in São Paulo, to go there in the address that appeared in the document. Her mother went there and there was nothing there. Like, there was no sign of a FM radio in the address he put there. He told this story not only for me, not only for Elena, but for a lot of people, especially girls, like 15, 16 years old girls. One of the girls actually dropped school. Her parents started to organize things for her to go there. He used to send those kind of pictures to other minors too. I don't know if any of the parents of the girls took any legal actions, but it was straight up like abusing kids. It was straight up sending pictures of your penis to underage girls. Like, how fucked up you have to be in your head to do this kind of stuff, you know? There is something about the Beatles fandom that it puts together really old guys and really young girls in the same community. And that can be really dangerous. I sadly have a lot of stories about predators in the Beatles fandom. If we can take something from this story is do not trust older guys online. If an older guy start talking to you, start hitting on you, start saying things that makes you uncomfortable, run. Tell your parents, tell the police, tell someone, tell your friends, block him. Do not keep talking to him. He will manipulate you. He will harass you. You should not give them the opportunity of messing up with your head. You should not feel like you want those guys something. You should not feel like those guys are doing a favor to you because they are so old and experienced and mature, and they are giving you their attention and time, trying to make you feel special. You are special, but it's not because of those older creepy weirdos. You are special for yourself. Dude, I know how it feels like. You feel like you are different from the other girls. You feel like you are mature for your age and things like that. But this is not okay. And I just wanted to say that if you are going through something like that, speak up. Because the more we speak up, the more those guys feel ashamed of what they are doing. And they won't do that anymore. I think that's it. Thank you for watching this video. This video is a little bit different from what I do in this channel. Subscribe to my channel. I post videos every Friday, so you already know when to come back for more. Like this video, share with a friend that you think would like to. And in the screen right now, we have my social media, so you can follow me there and we can be friends. I see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.